Hey guys, what's up? It's Megan and welcome back. And in today's video, I have another perfume review. And for today, we're going to be reviewing Commodity's Milk Expressive. If you've watched a few of my reviews, you should know by now that I do not buy full-size bottles. I know it's a nicer look whenever you're doing a review, but I have too many fragrances. I really think it's a good tip for people that like to blind buy, as I do, to always start out with the travel size. Of course, with most places you can always just return it, but you know, it's just me. It's more handy as well, but that's besides the point. If you guys want to hear my thoughts on the fragrance, then of course keep it right here. Okay, so let's get started, you guys. So first, to start off, I think Commodity is a relatively new brand. At least it's been at Sephora for maybe the past year, maybe year and a half. I'm not sure exactly on the timing, but I do believe they are a niche brand. So all they make is fragrances, which is cool. But yeah, I really like the packaging. I mean, it's nothing to write home about, but you know, it's like a matte packaging. You know, it's very sleek and it's, you know, not doing too much, which is great. Let's go ahead and get into the actual review now. Just to start off, just smelling it with the cap off, it's very a sweet smelling fragrance. I think it's described as a gourmand. Actually, speaking of, let's get to the notes so I could let you guys know what comes in this bad boy. I guess I'll go to Sephora and check out the notes. It doesn't have it like fully like a list as a lot of niche companies tend to do. But well, I guess this is Sephora, so I guess I really can't say that, but they have it in like a description instead of just like in a list. It says that cold milk adds a cooling element to an otherwise rich and warm fragrance of marshmallow, mahogany wood, and tonka bean. So I guess those are really the key notes of this fragrance, and I definitely, just on first impression, when I smelled it, you get a lot of that woodsy element to it and the marshmallow. To me, in my opinion, those are really all I smell, because this is a very gourmandy fragrance. It's very sweet, but you still get a good amount of that woodsy element to it, which I think it's a really nice balance, and the fact that they're able to achieve such opposite ends of the spectrum. So I think that's really nice. Let's spray it on the skin. Ooh, that was sprayed at the wrong angle. Okay, but hey, it's sprayed. And on the skin, I really think it goes on really nicely. Like I said, on the initial spray on my skin, I do get a lot of that marshmallow coming through, and that woodsy, the mahogany wood scent is kind of lingering there in the background. All I get is like a really nice, smooth, sleek, sweet scent, if that makes sense. I feel like it's something you have to smell this to understand what I mean. And of course, this is my opinion. Really nice. I don't get a lot of alcohol, which is good. Not that that's a bad thing. Of course, every company formulates their fragrances differently. While I let that dry down, I just want to preface before I get into everything, of course, this video, it's my opinion. So my opinion will most likely differ from yours, depending on what you like and what you tend to gravitate towards. I always suggest everybody out there to get a sample of any fragrance I may talk about, just to see if it's something you may like, because I may love a fragrance, which I tend to do. I tend to love the majority of fragrances that I try and that I buy. So just to save yourself the money and headache, I would always encourage anybody that may watch my video to get a sample, or at least get the smallest size possible, and make sure that you could return it before you jump into anything. And that's just me, because our tastes are just different, and that's just what it is. It's up for you to decide if you really like it, and the only way that's going to happen is if you smell it yourself. Always try it out, get a sample, go to Sephora. We have Sephoras literally everywhere. Let me not say that, because in rural areas, I'm from the country, so I mean, it took us a minute to get a little Sephora by it. I think this one is semi-safe to blind buy while we're on the topic, if you like woodsy type fragrances. If you don't like woodsy, I probably almost would stay away from this, but if you wouldn't mind testing it out, I think it might be something you may want to look into, because it has like a little bit of the gourmands through the marshmallow also, because that marshmallow is giving a little bit of sweetness to the fragrance. So I'll let you be the judge if you want to try it, girl, because I mean, hey, I say you should, but that doesn't mean that you actually should, you know what I mean? But yeah, anyway. But now that the fragrance has dried down, I really still get a lot of that marshmallow coming through. And there's something underlying that's coming out a lot more as well. I don't know if it's the tonka bean. I apologize that I'm not super familiar with how the tonka bean note smells like on its own. That may be what's coming through. I'm not entirely sure. Now it says it has cold milk in it, but I don't know, like how would milk smell like? But I guess you can kind of say that it has a milky type of a, maybe that's the smoothness I'm referring to. Maybe the milk note gives that to the fragrance. It smells really, really good on the skin. It doesn't change that much while it's on the skin, which could be a good or bad thing depending on how you feel about it once you smell it. Now, the only kind of downside that I have to this fragrance is that I don't get a whole lot of sillage with this, unfortunately. Maybe it's the type of fragrance where you have to overspray it to really get that punch in the sillage that some fragrances have. Like, I don't think that this is a super strong fragrance. Even when waving my wrist around like this, like I don't smell it like a whole lot. As I get closer, I could kind of get a little bit of that marshmallow coming through, like I said, but like I feel like if I were to wear this and passed by somebody, it wouldn't be something that you notice. Now, again, that's me, and that may be my skin's chemistry and pH and what have you. On someone else, it may be the completely opposite effect. So keep that in mind. If you don't like any fragrances that are super strong, I think that you like this. Also, if you're just getting into woodsy type fragrances, but you don't normally buy them, I think that might be a good thing, because sometimes woodsy can get a little bit overpowering and it can be a bit aggravating and cloying, and it gives you a headache. So I think this one could be a good one to start out with. Yeah, it doesn't have a whole bunch of projection in my opinion. But I think if you just wanted something to wear just for a few hours, you're going out at night or something, I think it could be cool. You know, if you just want to chill, just throw something on. If somebody smells you, hey, cool. If not, you know, at least you could smell yourself. I feel like somebody would have to be like right in your personal space to smell this. I don't think this is something you could smell from far away, just in my opinion. That is kind of a downside. Now, the upside is the price. This travel size is only $25, which I think that's below the average, because I think a lot of the average, like whether it be designer or niche brands, semi-niche I should say, are running about like 30 to 40 bucks. You know, not like Baccarat and like Byredo and stuff like that. Theirs are very expensive. So if you want to blind buy it, it's not breaking the bank too much. But I understand $25 is $25. I totally, yeah, that's, you know, that's still your money. Commodity, from what I could see, they only do 2 sizes, and they only do a travel size and a 3.4 ounce, which I believe was like $125. Let me check Sephora one more time. Oh, it's $135. So the 3.4 ounce bottle of this would be $135, which I don't think is bad. But I feel like it could be a little bit cheaper because they're a new brand. I don't know if I would say that it's a downside, but I would say this is something to keep in mind. If you own Replica Jazz Club, I think these two are very similar. Even though Commodity Milk Expressive is a gourmandy type, woody type scent, and I would say that Replica Jazz Club is more woody, spicy, I think they give off an extremely similar vibe. And it's weird because this is way sweeter, but I think it's like that boozy type, alcohol-y, whiskey type feel that they both kind of give off is what makes them super similar. So I would say if you've never smelled the Milk Expressive before, to definitely try it out beforehand if you own Jazz Club. I would say the marshmallow, like that sweet note in Milk Expressive, is what really sets them apart. I would say if you already have this in your collection, get a sample or go to Sephora and try it out first, because you might be kind of disappointed with yourself and upset with how similar these are. Unless you really love Jazz Club and you wouldn't mind having something that's kind of like a slight variation of it, then sure, go for it, because I think you'd really love it if you like Jazz Club. But just want to put that out there that these are super duper similar. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the lasting power. I think the lasting power is still pretty good, even though it stays close to the body and the skin. For me, I still think like for hours upon hours, I could still do like this and I smell it on my skin. And on your clothes, it lasts really, really good on your clothes as well, because I tend to spray the most on my clothes and I still get little wafts of it throughout the day, because I did wear this quite a few times to work. But yeah, I think the lasting power is pretty decent. It just sucks that, to me, the sillage is just not there, and the projection is just not there either. But sometimes I feel like that's okay, because not everything has to be like in your face. All in all, I say that this is a thumbs up. I think this is a really nice fragrance. I just think you have to determine for yourself if you're going to want something that's on the more gentler side. I would say if you like something a little bit more understated, something, you know, that's not going to do too much if you're in the crowd or you go to work, what have you, I think this is a really good fragrance to go ahead and try out. And, you know, you're trying a new... Oh my God, a fly just flew into my lashes. Oh my God, you guys, I'll be right back. God. You guys, that was so embarrassing. Oh my God. Okay, I think I'm okay. It was like a little flying something, which is weird because I never have flying things in here. But anyway, back to the review. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm always all over the place. Forgive me. Give it a try if you like woodsy type fragrances. I think the sweet element to this is really, really something that you don't get too often. So I'd say give it a try. But if you don't, I don't really feel like you're missing out on anything, if that makes sense. Like, I think it's cool for like a fragrance girl to have this in her collection, but if you just are really like particular about your fragrances, I don't think you're really missing anything like groundbreaking. But yes, you guys, that is the end of my review. I hope that it is helpful, and as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, hopefully my review made sense, as I always hope. And please don't forget to give me a like and a subscribe. I would really appreciate it, because it helps me to know that you guys are enjoying my content and that you want to see more from me. And it also helps me get into the YouTube algorithm for other people out there that don't know that I exist, to know that I exist. And for them to know that I exist, it could only help me out even more as I make videos. So I greatly appreciate it. Even if you just don't give a damn and you just wanted to see the review on it because you're looking at it on Sephora, that's okay too. I at least hope I help you to make some kind of decision. But anyway, again, if you made it this far, thank you so much, and I'm gonna see you guys next time. Bye.